Hello again, people. Right, it's about 8 o'clock Friday morning, and I was just about to take the dogs out for a walk, and lo and behold, it started raining. And where possible, I try to avoid wet, smelly dogs, and walk them in the dry. So I thought I'd make another coffee and show you exactly what I do when I start with an empty chart in the morning. So we're looking at cable, monthly chart. And every morning I start with a clean chart and just choose one of my, really when volatility, so the DAX at 7 a.m, cable at 8 a.m, and possibly having a venture into UK 100 I've talked about, the FTSE. And so I just put my levels on these charts, and support on yesterday's last month, January's low, and that didn't work for some reason. Oh, there it is there. And then support, resistance on last month's high, and then I'll do the same for the previous month, because obviously that would have affected what happened on last month. So we're talking about December now, and the resistance on December's high. And then the reason for this is because they are obvious areas of support and resistance, obviously, to repeat myself, sorry, and they are also indicators of where price, where it's got clear space ahead once it breaks there, as it were, and clear space a space below once it breaks the monthly low, as it were. And then I do it on the weekly. So weekly resistance last week, the high, and that's why it looks like spaghetti junction after a while. My machine is running a bit slow, which is a bit strange. That's the weekly, last week's high, and then the week before, because we know that must have impacted last week. And then the same for the support levels, the low of last week, and then the low of the week before, that green candle there. And then obviously we want to be keeping in mind, I mentioned this on yesterday's video as well, what the indicators are telling us. It's just turned over to red the week before this week, which is bearish, and lo and behold, this week we're bearish, selling. And same here, it turned red, so it stands to reason this week should be bearish, and it is. So no prizes for that analysis. And then I do it for the daily, so previous day's low, which is that red candle there, and previous day's high, again that one. And then the same for the day before that, which would have been Wednesday, I guess. Friday today, yeah. Wednesday's support and Wednesday's resistance. You can take this a step further, but then obviously you can see that lines get absolutely crazy. H4, again, we're watching looking at the indicators on both the daily, the previous chart, and this one now. And H4 is bearish, so what does that tell us? Well, we should be looking for shorts in this next hour, and it's broken through the 20 as well, and in the short term, not necessarily the next hour, but because it can easily turn red on a 4 hour and then pull back for 3 hours and then resume the trend. And that is often the case, because this would represent some sort of break of support in a down move, or break of resistance when it changes from red to green in an up move. And you can clearly see it has done. There's resistance there, and then boom. So, but it didn't continue in this instance, so but that's why you've got the higher time frames. That was smacking to the daily there, and that's why I draw these lines here. So hopefully that's becoming a little bit clearer now. I'm a massive believer of support and resistance, and then with trend analysis you can trade it. And let's have a look at H1. Hopefully this isn't boring you guys. It's just another look into why. As I said, I'm not really interested in MAs, so we can delete that. and I'm not really that bothered about fit pivots either, but other people use them, other people swear by them, the big banks use them, so why wouldn't you have them in your target zone, as it were? So H1 we could do the same, although it does get a bit messy, so I do it, as you know, and then M30 I would do it, but hopefully now you've got the picture of what goes on. Right down to M5 and M1, well M5 really, and then M1 you just trade all the lines you've got on your chart. So let's get rid of that thing again and have a look and see what's going on the M5. Right, well M5, according to this we can't go short, just like my previous DAX video to you. You know, unless this is red below zero here, or red, at least red, and this one is then telling me the momentum. In other words, for a short I'd want to be below the -20 line, and then possibly a little pullback on the 1 minute and enter. For long I want to see this above the 20 line, although you may miss the move in the busy period, so you know, you just have to use a little bit of common sense and trading experience in order to trade these shorter time frames in the busier times, as it were, the volatile times. This really, to be safe, should be waited for the breakdown again. What have we got down here? We've got yesterday's low down here, that it's used as support, obviously. Another good reason for all the levels on there, it's busted through the weekly low, which should act as resistance potentially, and that's my analysis on this really, and that's what I do, guys. So Billy TT would be trading the break of this high regardless of all of this information I've got. I can't unlearn this stuff, I swear by it, so consequently I would want to be trading this short. So that's it, guys. That's my analysis that I do on a daily basis. There's your 5 minute close and momentum move happening. Now, if this wasn't in the middle of momentum, I'd probably wait for a little pullback and a continuation signal on the 1 minute. Remember, the 5 minute has to close first, and this is where patience and absolute discipline are required. But we're trading, remember, we're going into that moving average that is pointing down. We are going into a 15-minute support, that little box there. The bottom of the box is there, so we're crashing into that right as we speak. And as I say, really, I want to be looking for shorts on this. So I'm going to close this video, drink my coffee, and wait to see whether I can get a good short entry on this. And I won't necessarily wait for the break of the low. That's not what I do, trade arbitrary lines. I use my indicators, as you well know by now, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.